This time last year, I don't think you guys had a practice with all 11 first-team guys. You have basically everyone out here on the offensive side. How are practices different? How's installation different than that this year?
Well, you're stating the obvious there, right? It's different because everybody's out there, which is really exciting. You know, we got the ability to come out there and start putting the work in and talking about the details and coaching through the details and the communication and the trust and all those things are important to playing offensive football.
Mike, how is Nate expanding his role as the number 2 guy?
Wait, I don't know.
Like,
Expand his role. What do you mean?
Like, what's different about his role going from the number 2, or going from the number 3 to going to the
Right.
number 2?
Well, he's one play away from going in the game. Obviously, that's the biggest thing. So mentally, he's got to prepare himself like a starter. He's getting more reps, and I think that maybe just from a practice standpoint would be the biggest difference if you were to ask him. Now, last year at this time, he was getting a lot of reps because of our quarterback situation last training camp. So he's used to getting those reps, but now he knows. Okay, I got to be ready to go. I got to be on the detail of each and every play. And he's very studious, he's energetic, and he's a smart guy, and he's done a really good job of that.
This is the deepest group of wide receivers that you've had. I mean, the first 4 are pretty obvious. But you have a lot of guys out there who look like they can play in the NFL.
That's a great observation, and I would agree with that. Really excited about that group as a whole. You mentioned, everybody talks about, Alshon, Deshaun, and Nelly, but we've got a lot of depth, guys that have played in this league, that have made plays for us or other people, that have size and have the skill set that you're looking for at the position. So it's a very competitive position.
Mike, kind of talked in the offseason about looking at 12 personnel, how to better utilize it. You guys seem to have started these team drills in 12. Is that a conscious effort to?
No, I mean, I think we led the league in 12 personnel last year, so we're very focused on that personnel group. We know that we've got a really strong 5 group of skill guys when we're out there when we're in 12, and we feel really confident when we go to 11. So either group we feel really strongly about, and we want to continue to refine what we're doing with those guys. Last year at this time, to Zach's point, we were just getting to know Dallas's game, and now we really understand Dallas's strengths. So from that standpoint, we're further down the road.
What are his strengths? Can you talk about?
Well, you got a good look at it today. In the passing game, the guy is explosive. He gets down the field in a hurry. He's a big target, and he's got soft hands. He's easy to spot down the field. So we had a really explosive play, really good-looking play there to Dallas. But even more than that, we think that he's continuing his development on the line of scrimmage as a blocker, really understanding the game and the communication that it takes not only to play his position, but next to the tackle and all the things that they got to get done together. And he was really strong at the point of attack and continued to improve all year long last year.
We've seen Nelson Agholor really blossom these last 2 years, especially. Where's his cap? What else can he do beyond?
Well, I hope he's got a ceiling even higher than what he's been. And like you said, he's had 2 really, really productive years. He's a guy that is very dependable for us and really probably an unsung hero in our offense. Does a lot of things that a lot of people don't notice, but is recognized by his teammates. So he's willing to do that. He's an excellent teammate. He loves playing here, and he'll do anything that we ask. And I think being surrounded by all the other guys in the huddle only helps him.
What are some of these Lawrence rolls back? What's that trickle down like in that running back room?
Well, I know everybody's excited to have Darren back. Made a lot of plays for us. Once he got healthy last season, down the stretch, helped us win games. He's valuable in that running back room from an experience standpoint, an energy standpoint. He's just a true pro, and we're really lucky to have Darren back.
Turns up the heat though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think competition's really good. I mean, it's certainly, if I was in that room, it'd get my attention when we bring him back. Like, he walks in there, there's a guy that's made a ton of plays and potential Hall of Famer.
Mike, what are some of the unnoticed things that you mentioned about Nelson Agholor?
I would probably be talking mostly about, his blocking and things like that, where he really had to do a lot of blocking for us at the point of attack, and he's very willing and tough. He's tough, and he can run all day long.
What's the plan for Vitae this summer?
I'm sorry.
What's the plan for Vitae this summer? Are you looking to?
He's our right guard right now. I mean, we're trying to prepare him that way. We're obviously managing Brandon through his injury, and just trying to prepare to get ready to play in that first preseason game. But also building depth. As you know, as you go through the course of a 16-week season, you're not always playing with the same 11 every week. So we're trying to do two things, kill two birds with one stone.
Dallas Goedert's development. What is it about 12 that you really like? What as a concept?
Well, we think it's a very versatile personnel group. I think more people, on defense, you're not getting base defense as much as you used to. More people playing what we would call a big nickel, so they're bringing a safety into the game rather than a corner, if that makes sense to you. So we still really like that matchup with both of our tight ends on a safety. So that's one of the things, whether it be in the passing game or the running game. Then like you mentioned, Dallas's blocking and Zach's diligence with the blocking as well to be able to run effectively out of 12.
For the first time, you really got to see Miles Sanders these last few days. The first time with pads.
Right.
What are your expectations here in the early going for?
Well, we drafted him, in that position because we think that he can be a really good player. But I'd still say it's a little early. Haven't, seen a ton of Miles yet. Obviously, really liked him coming out of Penn State. And what we've asked him to do here in a limited role early as we're kind of ramping him up and making sure that he gets his legs underneath him has been exciting, been what we thought he would be.
Mike, you have Matt Collins back out. You know what he's gone through to get to this point. What's it mean, to see him out there and moving around like he is?
Well, as his former position coach, I've got a lot of respect for Mac. Guy loves football. He's got a real energy about him each and every day, and he's the same guy. He's like that every day. He really doesn't change. So to persevere like he did through an injury that most guys don't have. There really wasn't a true definition of it. It was just kind of how you feeling today. And to be able to persevere through that and kind of come out the other side and be back out here with us, I couldn't be happier for Max. I know how much he put into it and how much it means to him.
Look at Boston Scott hearing some praise during the spring.
Yep.
Sproles comes in and everybody thinks he might be the guy that is on the bubble now. What's he been like in the room and out here on the field?
Yeah, I mean, since we got Boston from New Orleans, he's done a really, really good job for us. We haven't done any of the math yet in terms of, making the final roster, so he's got every opportunity to come out here and compete. Made a great catch, took a big shot there on the sideline, held on to the football, came in and then had a run there at the end of practice. So you could see the skill set that the guy's got. It's evident. So we're excited to continue to work him in there and see what he can do here in the preseason.
I don't have the luxury of time with Andre Dillard, but first round pick, how has he looked to you? Is he as physically impressive as you thought?
Yeah, Andre obviously was one of the quick-footed tackles, real big skill guys, what I like to call those guys up front, and he can kick out, he can pass protect, and he's coming from a different system, so there's a lot of things for him to learn, but he's extremely sharp. He can speak our language. Now he's just this first day in pads in an NFL uniform, so really just on the ground floor with him, but excited about his future.
You had the officials in for the rules change stuff. Mm-hmm. What stuck out to you? Is it the pass interference, or is it the blindside block thing?
Well, the blindside block really, we've basically coached it the way that it's being officiated, for the last couple years now. So that's just about guys being smart and taking some of those violent hits out of the game. And I think that everybody's on board with that. You get ramped up sometimes. You in the heat of the moment, you kind of forget where you are, and those things do happen. But you do your best to try to coach the players out of that from a technical standpoint. Like everybody's talking about the pass interference and how it's going to be officiated, and then how we're going to manage it throughout the course of a game, whether to challenge or not, hold on to the challenges, all those things. I think that we're going to have to get into the preseason games and use those as a litmus test to try to figure that out. But from a technique standpoint, offensively, we've always tried to coach and play within the rules. We haven't tried to gain advantages by pushing off and all those kinds of things. We've tried to coach the right way and get our players to play the right way. We know that when you slow it down in slow-mo, things can look a little bit different than in the live action. It just is an emphasis for us.
Well, we see offenses kind of emphasizing contact now, like in soccer.
You mean like flopping? I hope our game doesn't turn into a bunch of flops, to be honest, yeah.
High profile.
Yesterday.
I'm sorry.
I mentioned to Jim yesterday, from Jim Schwartz, that it just seems that that's going to cause a lot more controversy than we had before, because once they start reviewing it, you'll see elements of offensive and defensive pass interference in almost every play.
Yeah, I think you could probably nitpick on every play, Merrill, to your point, and hopefully it just doesn't slow the flow of the game down. That we just allow it to develop. We work through in the preseason, like any rule change, right? How does it affect me? That's what people want to know. When anything changes, how is that going to affect me? How is that going to affect us? And we got to coach through it. We got to learn how they're going to officiate it, and then we have to adapt to it.
It's not as high profile, but it's a point of emphasis, not a rule change. But the backside blocking that they want to go
Right.
holding on.
Yeah.
Have you guys put?
Well, the clips that they showed us yesterday in our meeting with the officials, those were very obvious calls and should be called. And just like we're talking about with the pass interference, it's a way. A lot of those cutoff blocks on the backside, they're hard blocks. You're out leveraged, so the only way to really get a guy in 2 steps is to grab him, and they're trying to take that out of the game, and I think rightfully so. So we got to just do a good job coaching it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.